Sweet. So now you know how to add food. Let's go through how to actually weigh it and make sure that you're actually having the right amount of food, because probably the biggest mistake is not necessarily what you're adding to MyFitnessPal, but it might just be the portion sizes and or misreporting. So you might be reporting too little because you actually haven't weighed your food, or you might be reporting too much because you've actually not weighed your food as well. So guesstimations is good, but if you're trying to be as precise as possible, then it's quite useful to do this. You don't have to do this forever, but it's definitely worthwhile doing for a couple, 3 weeks, just while you get into the groove and understanding what portions are. So, tee your thing to 0. I don't know how it thinks that my voice is worth something. Oh, this is what. Once it goes 0, let's just weigh some food. So, let's just go with this rice. It's easy. It's a good way to look at it. This, whenever you weigh anything that you're going to cook, is usually raw. So not often would you sort of weigh a food cooked and then work out the macronutrients of that. The numbers that you see in MyFitnessPal and stuff would always be raw. So it's probably better just to do it this way. So take your rice or take whatever it is. I think 1 serving of this is 45 grams. So just keep on going until you get 45 grams. Oh, that's 55 grams. But this is going to be a good example. Then you go into MyFitnessPal, you scan that food, or if you've got it in your system under your history, you can just go in there. And then here, says 45 grams is approximately 1. You can change this to grams. And then you can just enter, what do we say? 56. 56. And then they'll work out the calories for that. So once you cook it, then it's just a matter of just working out portion sizes by eye. I mean, you can weigh it again and see, but I think for rice, it adds like 400 mils of water per like cup of rice. So it'd be silly for you to weigh it and be like, oh yeah, I'm having 100 grams of rice, when actually that's 56 grams of rice right there. But when it's actually cooked, it might be this big. So food, just by default, is always calculated raw. And if you do work out a meal, you'd do the sort of ingredients broken down raw first. And then as you're doing your portions, just figure it out from there. So for example, if you had 100 grams of rice and you took a quarter of it, then you'd say, oh yeah, sweet, I had 25 grams of rice. The other thing to note is like when you're doing your scales, probably best to tear it every time. Some scales you can work in negatives, this one you can't. So if I just put that on there and push tear, if I took something out, so at the moment it's 0. If I take this out, it'll go cancel nothing. But some of these scales will actually go negative, and that's so much easier because then you can just go negative. So you can just literally put like a container of yogurt on there, scoop it out, and then go, oh, yep, there you go. Or if you're good at maths, you can just go tear, put on there, take out what you want, and then just know what the first number was, and then you can sort of minus that off the number that you just took out. That's the main things with scales. In terms of pitfalls with it, is probably just a matter of like making sure that you tear it between foods and plates, because sometimes you can do that, and I've done it in the past, and then I've messed it up majorly, ended up having like way too much yogurt. I think it was yogurt. Anyway, that's pretty much all you need to know when it comes to weighing your food. How long you should do it for is probably only let's say a few, maybe 6 weeks at max, just so you get an idea of it. If you're weighing it for the rest of your life, it's probably going to be pretty shit. And also taking a scale to a restaurant and then dissecting your food is definitely not the coolest thing for your friends or your partner. If you do go out and you need to weigh your food, it's probably just better just to eyeball and guesstimate it. But if you're doing this at home, you can probably have a better idea of what the weight and what this portion size is just by looking at what you've been doing at home and then when you go out and eat. Cool, hope that helps. The next little video will just be on some of the pitfalls with MyFitnessPal.